You are the chosen one. You hear this now on purpose. You sat at the table and counted the bills, and a number stared back like a wall. You waited in a hospital hallway while the clock moved, and fear pressed on your ribs. You stood in an apartment and felt the silence shout. Night tried to swallow you, but dawn had already written your name. This is not random. This is calling. Listen, take one slow breath. You were born in an ordinary house, yet you carried an extraordinary pull. Others chased approval. You chased meaning. Others laughed and forgot. You listened and remembered. Others slept. You dreamed. The difference was not pride. The difference was purpose. You felt out of place at the family table. While your siblings spoke about the weekend, your mind traced a map no one could see. A map of healing. A map of rebuilding. A map of doors that open when someone dares to knock. The ache you carried was not a flaw. It was assignment. See the pattern. Joseph sat in a cell and learned the language of palace doors. David watched sheep and learned the rhythm of courage. Esther stood in a corridor and learned that silence has a cost. Job lost what he loved and learned that ashes can become altars. Your bills are not chains, they are invitations to provision. Your scans are not final, they are the rehearsal of faith. Your empty rooms are classrooms where your voice grows. You tried to blend in, it did not work. You tried to be small, it bent your back. You tried to agree with every demand. Your spirit said no. You were not wrong, you were early. Chosen comes before understood. Oil before title, burden before blessing. Let us name the real. Finance. You sit with a spreadsheet and a dull pencil. The math does not add, yet under the numbers there is a whisper. I will supply. Health. You grip the armrest while the nurse calls another name. Your heart runs a race you never trained for, yet in your chest a calm begins to rise. Relationship. You heat food for one. You hear your own breath louder than any song, yet in that room, a warmth appears that you did not plug in. You are not forsaken, you are being formed. If this truth speaks to you, hit like and subscribe. Write 333 inches the comments. It is a prophetic sign of your divine alignment. Hear the rhythm. Short steps, firm steps. You are set apart. Not to be famous, to be faithful. Not to be perfect, to be present. When others complain, you build. When others hurry, you wait. When others fear, you pray. When others envy, you bless. Expect resistance. Rejection came, but it did not cancel you. Delay came, but it did not deny you. Doors shut, but they trained your knock. People forgot you, but heaven kept your name. Your tears watered ground that will grow. Your silence became a seed. Look back without bitterness. Remember the day you carried a box up 3 flights. Remember the week you ate noodles and paid the electric bill anyway. Remember the appointment when the doctor paused. Remember the message you never received. These rooms taught your soul to stand. Proof is near. You did not drown in the months that tried to pull you under. You did not fold when the bill arrived with red letters. You did not disappear when the phone stayed quiet. Something held you. A hand you could not see. A promise you could not buy. Chosen does not mean easy. Chosen means trusted. Trusted with weight. Trusted with waiting. Trusted with a voice that does not echo the crowd. David was not first in the line, yet the oil reached him. Joseph was not oldest, yet the dream found him. Esther was not raised for palaces, yet the palace turned when she walked. Job was not spared the storm, yet his end grew larger than his beginning. Your story is a living continuation. You carry light, not a stage light, a steady light. It finds the corner of a room and pushes shadows back. You enter a meeting and the air shifts. You sit with a fearful friend and peace arrives. You pray in a whisper and something heavy gets lighter. This is not performance. This is presence. Practice now. Gratitude when the cart is light. Stewardship when the paycheck is thin. Hope when the lab work is hard to read. Gentleness when the house feels cold. These are small altars. These are daily victories. If this word awakens your spirit, type 333 again in the comments and share this with one person who needs a sign today. Now lift your head. Hear the cadence. Identity, wilderness, giant, prison, fire, crown. Today is identity. Today you remember what darkness hoped you would forget. You are no accident. You are a precise answer to a precise need. You are a line written in a book that disappointment cannot edit. There will be days when hunger howls and invoices glare. There will be days when scans wait like mountains. There will be days when no one texts. On those days, speak like David. My cup will overflow. Think like Joseph. This pit is not my palace. Stand like Esther. I was born for such a time as this. Breathe like Job. I will see goodness in the land of the living. Take the next step. Clean the table and open the notebook. Write the budget and bless it. Call the clinic and keep the appointment. Send the apology that heals your own heart. Drink water and rest early. Open the window and let light in. Pray for the brother who stopped calling. Pray for the mother who does not understand. You do not need applause. Applause is fragile. Purpose is steel. You do not need to feel ready. Readiness is a costume. Obedience is armor. You do not need to win arguments. Fruit wins arguments. This chapter is a doorway. On the other side are rooms you have never entered. Rooms of clarity, rooms of provision, rooms of reconciliation. Your name is on the list. Your chair is pulled out. Walk forward with your shoulders back and your hands open. Let simple scenes preach again. You stir coffee at dawn. You forgive before you check your phone. You choose generosity when a bill feels heavy. You will build a different pattern. Your children will not inherit panic. Your family will not rehearse the old fight. Your work will carry excellence without vanity. Your health will become a testimony, not because every scan is perfect, but because your peace is protected. Keep your eyes on the horizon. The night is real, but not forever. The mistake happened, but not your name. The debt is due, but not your identity. The distance aches, but not your destiny. Hold steady. Pray often. Smile when you can. Cry when you must. Ask for help. Give help. Make a plan. Take a walk. Send a message that blesses. Lift your chin. Speak this with your steps. I will not apologize for being chosen. I will not shrink to fit a room that needs to grow. I will walk with a clean heart and a clear mind. I will bring courage into waiting rooms. I will bring honor into conversations that have forgotten honor. One image to close. A heavy door in a hallway begins to open, and morning spills across your shoes. The wilderness comes after the name. It comes after the oil. It comes after the first yes. You step forward, and the path looks thin. The city is behind you. The promise is before you. Between them stands the wilderness. This is not punishment. This is formation. Israel walked through it and learned to be a people. David hid in it and learned to be a king. John preached in it and learned to be a voice. Jesus faced it and showed us how to win. The wilderness is not where God is absent. It is where every other voice is quiet. You wake before sunrise. The room is cool. You open the fridge and there is not much. 2 eggs, some bread, a note with a due date. You make coffee and stare at the steam. You open your banking app and the balance is thin. You whisper, I will not fear. You write a budget. You add a line. Tithe. You add a line. Save. You wait in a clinic again. A screen blinks your name. Your chest tightens. You sit. You breathe. You remember a promise. By his stripes I am healed. You let peace sit beside you, like a friend who never leaves. You cook for one and eat at a small table. You remember a fight that did not end well. You remember an absence that still aches. You do not text. You bless. You forgive again. You say, I am not behind. I am not alone. I am being led. In the wilderness, you learn the sound of manna. It is the sound of enough, not excess, not applause. Enough for this day. The breath in your lungs is enough. The light under the door is enough. You do not hoard. You do not starve. You gather and you rest. There are temptations here. To grab what glitters. To accept the fast path. To trade calling for comfort. The enemy offers shortcuts. Stones to bread. Falls without fractures. Kingdoms without crosses. You answer like Jesus answered. It is written, my source is God. My timing is God. My worship is God. You set daily rhythms. Wake early. Pray short and true. Read 1 chapter. Walk 10 minutes. Drink water. Pay 1 bill. Save $5. Send 1 kind message. Return 1 call. Work with honest hands. Close the day with gratitude. You keep your words clean. Complaints shrink the heart. Thanksgiving stretches it. You keep your thoughts simple. Today has enough weight. You keep your pace humble. Speed is not fruit. Faithfulness is fruit. You keep your circle wise. A few voices who pray more than they gossip. The wilderness exposes idols. Image, noise, control. You used to feed them. Now they fall silent. You used to chase a perfect plan. Now you walk the next step. You used to measure value by reaction. Now you measure by obedience. Look again at 3 scenes. Finance. You sit with envelopes and write names on them. Rent, food, giving, savings. You put cash into each and bless the stack. Health. You meal prep with simple food. You put pills into a box and set an alarm. You schedule the scan and schedule rest. Relationship. You water the plant by the window. You take a walk without your phone. You call a friend and listen more than you speak. When fear visits, you answer with scripture like a drum. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down. He restores my soul. You say it in a parking lot. You say it while you fold laundry. You learn to rest as warfare. You sleep without apology. You honor Sabbath. You turn off the screen. You eat slowly. You let silence teach you that you are not what you produce. If this truth keeps you steady, hit like and subscribe. Write 333 inches the comments. It is a prophetic sign of your divine alignment. The wilderness teaches discernment. You notice patterns that did not help you. You say no without guilt. You unsubscribe. You set a boundary at 9. You keep your mornings for prayer. You make a list of what matters and build a week around it. You practice generosity, even here. You give time. You give skill. You give a ride. You give an extra meal. You give a word in season. Your hand stays open. Provision flows through open hands. Joseph knew this terrain. He served in a strange house and then a darker house, yet the Lord was with him. Favor does not flee the wilderness. It learns how to build in it. David wrote songs here. He learned to talk to his own soul. Hope in God. He trained with stones. He led a few faithful ones who hid in caves. Esther felt the same pressure. A fast, a plan, a risk. She learned to move when the moment was ripe. She learned to speak with weight and to honor counsel. Job knew loss and sat in ash. He learned that mystery is not absence. He learned that God is near even when answers are not. Do not label this season as failure. Seeds do not shout in the dirt. Roots do their holy work, unseen. Obedience in small rooms pulls large doors open later. Some days will feel long. You will drink water and still feel dry. You will pray and still feel slow. You will do right and still feel unseen. Mark simple milestones. 30 days of prayer. A month of on-time bills. A week of honest sleep. 3 calls returned. 2 acts of kindness no one noticed. 1 habit laid down for good. Keep singing. Low and steady to endure. Sing in your kitchen while rice boils. Sing in your car at a red light. Keep learning. Read Proverbs like a map. Read the stories of Joseph and David and Esther and Job as mirrors. Take notes. Write lines that strike you and tape them to your fridge. If this word is water to you, write 333 inches the comments again and share this with someone who stands in their own wilderness. Now fix your eyes on the future. The wilderness ends when purpose is ready. Israel crossed when it learned to trust more than it grumbled. David stepped out when he had honor for the one who hated him. Joseph stood up when he could bless the people who broke him. Esther walked when favor and timing aligned. Job rose when humility made room for double. You are moving the same way, not by rush, by resolve, not by hype, by habit. Your hands are learning what your heart already knows. Your feet are learning the path your faith already drew. Soon the road will bend. Soon the edge of the sand will touch a garden. Before that day comes, do the next right thing. Pay the bill you can. Eat the food that heals. Take the walk that clears your head. Make the call that mends a bridge. Delete the number that pulls you backward. Bless the one who cursed you. Bless the ones who stayed. You are almost through this section. You feel it in your bones. You see it in your plans. You sense it when you pray. The wilderness is doing its holy work. It is stripping away what cannot cross with you. It is shaping a spine that will carry a mantle with grace. You will carry a map. You will carry a song. You will carry habits that hold you when applause fades. You will carry peace, like a passport. The wilderness is not your home, but it is your hallway. Walk it with honor. Walk it with eyes up. Walk it with hands open. One image to close. Footprints cross a wide stretch of sand, and at the far edge, a thin green line appears on the horizon. Giants rise after the wilderness. The sand shifts into battlefields. The stillness gives way to noise. You step out with a heart shaped by silence, and suddenly the ground trembles. A giant stands in front of you. This is the pattern. Israel left Egypt and met giants in Canaan. David left fields and met Goliath in the valley. Esther left silence and met the throne of Persia. Jesus left baptism and met rulers with rage. Every chosen one walks into giants. You face them in modern clothes. A debt letter with bold red print. A report with numbers that decide if treatment continues. A text that ends a relationship in one line. They look big. They sound final. They stand tall with laughter. But they are not stronger than the one who sent you. Giants thrive on noise. They shout before they strike. They tell you who you are not. They tell you what you cannot. They hold the sword of shame and the spear of fear. They carry a shield of memory to remind you of failure. You feel small. You feel outnumbered. Yet you stand. You remember David. He was not tall. He was not armored. He was not trained. But he was aligned. He did not borrow Saul's sword. He carried his sling. He did not walk with panic. He ran with faith. He spoke what he knew. The battle is the Lord's. And that sentence broke the giant before the stone did. You whisper the same when your bill is too high. The battle is the Lord's. You say the same when the doctor sighs. The battle is the Lord's. You declare the same when silence in your home aches louder than words. The battle is the Lord's. Giants look permanent, but they fall fast. They stand for years and collapse in seconds. One stone, one word, one act of obedience. That is the pattern. Mark your 3 scenes. Finance. You sit at a table and make a call you have delayed. You negotiate with boldness. You send the email with clarity. You take control of what once controlled you. Health. You walk into the clinic again. This time you pray in the waiting room. You speak peace into the machines. You write a verse on the back of your hand. Relationship. You confront a silence with a gentle truth. You do not fight with anger. You fight with honesty. You fight with blessing. Every giant is proof of territory. If there were no land to claim, no promise to inherit, the giant would not be here. Its presence proves your progress. Its roar proves your nearness. Do not despise the sound. Interpret it. The noise is an announcement. You are closer than you think. If this truth steadies you, hit like and subscribe. Write 333 inches, the comments. It is a prophetic sign of your divine alignment. The enemy will try to magnify size. He will point at your height. He will point at your lack. He will remind you of how many fell before you. But faith is not measured by size. It is measured by source. Goliath's armor was heavy, but his heart was empty. David's hands were light, but his spirit was full. You are not called to outsize your giant. You are called to outtrust it. The one inside you is greater. The one behind you is stronger. The one above you is higher. Picture Joseph again. In a prison, the giant was despair. Yet he interpreted dreams. He lifted others when he had no ladder himself. The giant did not win. Picture Daniel. Lions circled like living giants. He prayed with windows open. He did not fold. He did not fear. Your giants can roar, but they cannot rewrite your purpose. They cannot cancel your oil. They cannot remove your crown. They can only test if you know what you carry. So when you walk into work and the room feels hostile, breathe. When you open the bill and the numbers overwhelm, breathe. When you hear the diagnosis and your knees weaken, breathe. Giants fall to steady breath and spoken word. Keep your tools close. A verse on your lips. A prayer in your chest. A memory of past wins. Remember the lion. Remember the bear. Remember the small battles you already overcame. Each one was rehearsal. Each one was proof. When the giant falls, and it will, do not forget the lesson. You did not win by sword. You did not win by charm. You did not win by numbers. You won by trust. Giants teach you to trust at scale. One image to close. A valley echoes with silence. A giant face pressed to the dust. And in your hand, a sling still warm with faith. After giants, doors open. The path widens. The same hand that steadied you in sand now turns the key in stone gates. What felt locked for years begins to yield. You step into rooms that once ignored you. Invitations arrive that you did not send. Favor follows you like a shadow, but doors bring decisions. Every open door is not your assignment. Some are detours painted as destiny. Some are traps dressed as triumph. You must discern. Joseph knew this. One day, he was in prison. The next, in Pharaoh's court. The dream interpreter became the governor. Yet he did not rush. He spoke with wisdom. He credited God. He did not use the moment to repay betrayal. He used it to save nations. That is how doors are handled, with restraint, not revenge. You will face offers. A job that pays more but steals your peace. A partner who looks good but does not pray. A platform that grows fast but bends your values. These are not blessings. They are distractions. The right door does not ask you to sacrifice obedience. How do you discern? 3 signs. First, peace. If your chest tightens, wait. Second, alignment. If the door pulls you away from purpose, decline. Third, confirmation. If wise voices echo what you sense, step. Mark your scenes. Finance. A new stream appears. You tithe first. You save next. You invest in what grows slow but sure. Health. A treatment option arrives. You pray, research, and decide with both faith and wisdom. Relationship. Someone returns. You listen. You forgive, but you do not rush. You weigh if trust can be rebuilt. Do not fear missed doors. What is yours will wait. What is divine will not decay. Delay does not erase destiny. Sometimes a closed door is protection, not punishment. When a door opens wide, do not forget the wilderness. Carry its lessons. Simplicity, gratitude, daily rhythm. Giants fall, but pride can rise in their place. Stay low, stay grateful, stay honest. If this word is guiding you, hit like and subscribe. Write 333 inches the comments. It is a prophetic sign of your divine alignment. Esther walked through a door into the throne room. She did not walk with arrogance. She walked with fasting. She walked with counsel. And because she did, the decree was reversed. Doors can change laws. David walked through a door from caves to crown. He did not grab it early. Twice he refused to kill Saul. Twice he chose patience over position. That is how kings walk through doors with restraint. Jesus said he is the door. That means doors are not just places, they are persons. Every door leads deeper into him or away from him. Choose the ones that pull you closer. When you step into your door, do 3 things. First, honor. Thank God in public and in private. Second, steward. Do not waste what was given. Build, multiply, grow. Third, share. Bless others with what the door gave you. If it gave you influence, use it for justice. If it gave you resource, use it for generosity. If it gave you time, use it for service. 1 image to close. A wide door swings open, light spills across the floor, and you step through with empty hands, ready to receive and ready to give. After doors, thrones. Not always golden, not always carved, but thrones of influence. A seat where your voice matters. A place where your presence shifts outcomes. A role where others look to you for guidance. This is the stage destiny was shaping. The wilderness gave you discipline. Giants gave you courage. Doors gave you access. Now thrones give you responsibility. Joseph sat on a throne in Egypt. He signed decrees, managed grain, and fed nations. But his true crown was forgiveness. He could have punished his brothers. Instead, he wept and embraced. His throne became a table of reconciliation. David wore a crown in Jerusalem. He had wealth, armies, and songs sung in his name. But his true strength was humility. When confronted with failure, he repented. His throne was steady, not because he was flawless, but because he was quick to return to God. Esther wore a crown in Persia. Her beauty opened the palace, but her courage preserved her people. Her throne was not for comfort, but for risk. She spoke when silence was easier. Jesus wore no crown of gold, but a crown of thorns. His throne was a cross, and from that place, he showed us that power is not domination, but sacrifice. His throne redeems. Your throne may look like a leadership role, a company, a classroom, a home, or even a community project. Influence is not measured by size, but by stewardship. How you serve determines how long you sit. Mark your scenes. Finance. Influence means generosity. You set up scholarships. You teach budgeting to one who struggles. You release resource for kingdom work. Health. You model balance. You rest openly so others see rest is holy. You lead by example, not just instruction. Relationship. You use your voice to heal. You host. You mentor. You reconcile. Remember the temptations of thrones. Pride whispers that you did this alone. Comfort tempts you to stop growing. Control lures you to rule for yourself. Guard your heart. Stay small in spirit, even when the seat is large. If this word confirms your season, hit like and subscribe. Write 333 inches the comments. It is a prophetic sign of your divine alignment. Leadership is not about being seen. It is about seeing. See the overlooked. See the weary. See the ones who need a hand. Thrones without sight become prisons. Thrones with vision become platforms. Do not fear the weight. If God trusted you with this seat, He also gave you the strength to carry it. He does not promote without equipping. He does not crown without covering. When you sit on your throne, do 3 things. First, remember. Recall the wilderness, and let gratitude keep you grounded. Second, listen. Wise counsel preserves kings. Third, pour. Use your influence as oil for others. 1 image to close. A simple chair in a quiet room. On it rests not a jewel-studded crown, but a towel, folded and ready to serve. After thrones, legacy. Influence ends, but impact continues. The crown will tarnish, the chair will change, but the seeds you planted outlive you. Legacy is not fame, it is fruit. It is what remains when your name fades. Abraham's legacy was not cattle or tents, it was faith. Generations called him father because he believed when there was no reason to hope. Moses' legacy was not palaces, it was freedom. A people walked out because he dared to return. Ruth's legacy was not harvest fields, it was a lineage. Out of her loyalty came a king, and out of that king came the Messiah. Your legacy is shaped in daily choices, not just final acts. Every budget you wrote in faith, every prayer whispered in kitchens, every kind word sown into weary hearts, these weave threads that last longer than you. Mark your scenes. Finance. You leave a system, not just a gift. Children know how to steward, not just how to spend. Health. You leave habits, not just stories. Generations see rest and resilience modeled. Relationship. You leave blessing. Your family remembers you as one who forgave, one who encouraged, one who spoke life. Legacy is not what you keep, it is what you release. Open hands always outlive closed fists. The grain Joseph stored fed nations. The psalms David sang still heal souls. The prayers Esther prayed still echo in Jewish feasts. The cross Jesus carried still redeems today. Do not despise small legacies. A notebook of wisdom, a recipe with love, a tradition of prayer at dawn. These outlast monuments. If this word stirs you, hit like and subscribe. Write 333 inches the comments. It is a prophetic sign of your divine alignment. You may never see the full fruit. Abraham did not. Moses only glimpsed. Yet unseen fruit is not wasted fruit. Faith is planting orchards you may never eat from. Guard against counterfeit legacies. Achievement without integrity crumbles. Wealth without wisdom corrupts. Popularity without presence fades. Build on rock, not sand. 1 image to close. A field after harvest. The stalks are cut low, but in the soil, seeds already wait. The farmer walks away, and the ground remembers. After legacy, rest. Not the kind that comes from exhaustion, but the kind that flows from trust. Rest is not laziness. Rest is warfare. It declares that you are not your work, not your worry, not your wins. Rest is remembering who holds the world when your hands let go. God rested on the 7th day, not because he was tired, but because he was finished. Israel was commanded to keep Sabbath, not because fields stopped needing care, but because hearts stopped needing control. Jesus slept in a storm, not because the waves were small, but because his Father was greater. Rest is a throne of its own. It crowns the weak. It marks the rhythm of heaven. It says enough when the world screams more. Mark your scenes. Finance. You choose not to chase every deal. You pause to thank God for provision instead of grasping for more. You learn contentment, the true currency of wealth. Health. You close the laptop at 9. You walk without headphones. You stretch, breathe, and let your body heal. Relationship. You give unhurried presence. You sit with a friend without agenda. You linger at the table after a meal. Rest exposes idols. The one who cannot rest is still enslaved to schedules, to screens, to proving worth. When you lay it down, you discover chains you did not know you carried. If this word calms your spirit, hit like and subscribe. Write 333 inches the comments. It is a prophetic sign of your divine alignment. Rest is also prophetic. It points forward to a kingdom where striving ceases, to a city where there is no night because glory is the light, to a table where cups overflow and no one is rushed. David sang of green pastures and still waters. Elijah slept under a tree and angels fed him bread. Mary sat at Jesus' feet while Martha hurried, and the Lord said Mary chose the better part. Each story whispers the same truth. Peace is holy. Do not wait for everything to be done before you rest. Rest now and watch the unfinished bow to his timing. Lay down the sword, close the ledger, turn off the alarm. Rest is trust in action. One image to close. A wide field under dusk, work tools laid down, a person lying on their back, hands open, eyes on a sky painted with stars. After rest, community. The journey never ends with you alone. The call was never only for one voice, but for a people. God weaves individuals into families, exiles into nations, wanderers into witnesses. Destiny is multiplied in circles. From the beginning, he said, "It is not good for man to be alone." Israel was shaped as a people, not as scattered names. David had mighty men who bled with him in caves. Esther had her people fasting behind palace walls. Jesus chose 12 to walk dusty miles together. The Spirit came not to one, but to an upper room full. Community is the crown of the story. It is where purpose becomes legacy, and legacy becomes movement. Alone, you survive. Together, you flourish. Mark your scenes. Finance. You open your hand not just to give, but to teach. A neighbor learns to budget. A small group pools funds for someone in need. Generosity grows wings. Health. You walk in pairs. You cook meals to share. You hold each other accountable for rest, for balance, for wholeness. Relationship. You gather at tables. You forgive and are forgiven. You laugh loud. You pray stronger because voices join. Community is not perfect. It will wound. It will misunderstand. But it will also heal. Iron sharpens iron with sparks. Do not run from sparks. Stay, forgive, grow. If this word confirms your journey, hit like and subscribe. Write 333 inches, the comments. It is a prophetic sign of your divine alignment. The enemy always fears community. He isolates before he destroys. He convinces you no one understands. He whispers, "You are safer alone." Resist the whisper. Build anyway. Invite anyway. Love anyway. True community is built on presence, not performance. On confession, not perfection. On grace, not gossip. It is a circle where weakness is not hidden, but held, where victories are not envied, but celebrated. Look again at the cloud of witnesses. Abraham, Moses, Ruth, David, Esther, Job. Their stories were not silos. They built a lineage. Their faith became your inheritance. You stand in their community even now, and one day the final gathering will come. A multitude from every nation, every tongue, every season. A song too wide for one voice. A table too long for one room. A kingdom where the king himself is the light. Until then, keep gathering, keep building, keep forgiving, keep holding the circle wide enough for one more chair. One image to close. A long table under open sky. Plates set, candles lit, laughter rising, and at the head of the table, an empty seat, always waiting, always ready for the next soul to join.